We get questions all the time about why gas prices go up when they do, and today we had the perfect place to go after the answers. Guess who was in town? The president of Shell Oil Company. He was in Grand Rapids today, the guest of the World Affairs Council. 24-Hour News 8's consumer reporter Patrick Center went down there, got a one-on-one interview with him. You talked to Shell Oil's boss.
Yeah.
What did we find out?
You know, this was one of those rare occasions when you could sit down with the head man and ask the question, why? Like, why do gas prices remain high? That was the biggie, but there were other questions I wanted answered, like, why do gas prices climb based on world events that may or may not affect oil supply?
The motoring public says, wait a minute, it just seems like there's always an excuse every week to raise prices. What do you say to those people?
The law of supply and demand is the driving law, and people's behavior is what addresses supply-demand issues. So we don't sit in Houston, for example, and decide what prices people in Grand Rapids are going to have to pay for Shell gasoline. That's decided by local market conditions, by wholesalers who serve the retail market here and the customers in this region.
Why have gas prices been rising at a rapid rate in recent years?
It really is a basic supply-demand equilibrium. The relationship between the supply side and the demand side is such that we're barely keeping up with the growth in demand.
So it's a refining issue at this point.
Refining is the big balancing factor for meeting street demand, and the nation needs more refining capacity, which was why Shell and our partner Saudi Refining decided 2 weeks ago to make a major addition in refining capacity in Port Arthur, Texas. We'll go from 285,000 barrels a day to over 600,000 barrels a day in that one site.
What is the breaking point as you see this down the line? When you look at the refining capacity, supply and demand, is there a break point?
I think it depends on how we treat biofuels in the future. In other words, right now we're very dependent upon petroleum-based products, where ethanol is coming in at about a 5 to 6% of the supply chain. If biofuels continues to increase, let's say to 10 or 15%, that relaxes some of the pressure on the petroleum supply side, but now it's got new pressure on the ethanol supply side or the biodiesel supply side. Those economics and those supply chains really haven't been worked out yet.
You're in the oil industry. Isn't it in your best interest, though, to protect oil and keep that going as long as possible?
I'd rather would say that we're in the mobility industry. We like to keep people on the move. We do bring fuels to the marketplace. Most of those fuels are today and will continue to be petroleum-based fuels, but we don't rule out biofuel as a major factor in the future.
I asked Hoffmeister when the world will run out of oil. He says there's more oil than we will ever use. And when it comes to U.S. oil, he told me there's plenty here as well, but that environmental laws prevent it from coming to market. Hoffmeister maintains instead of transferring wealth to other parts of the world, we should be developing oil supplies here, and that would help lower the price.